Today I've got 6 orders for 258 bucks on eBay. First sale, sold this scan shell scanner for 55 bucks. You saw this in the last video with all those electronics. Next, these inflators are starting to move. That's the one I kept. 35 bucks for this. Here, we're looking for N7 and N8. Here is N7, and right next to it, that's 3. Let's see, 9, 12. Well, where are you hiding? I don't see an 8. Let's see, we got 13, 12, 3, 8 right here. All right, 7 and 8. I sold these for 60. These are voice recorders, and they work also as a mouse for medical software. Next, I sold this printer, no power cord, for $39.99, 40 bucks. It did come with a power cord, but the amperage was too high and you could hear buzzing in it, but I was able to test it with it, so I do know it works. I sold a barcode scanner. This one. It is a Motorola, which is a good brand, but it's not USB. I got 15 bucks for it. If you notice a few things, this barcode scanner, that thermal printer, and the scanner all came from the electronics that I spent 160 on the other day. Lastly, I sold this stand-up scanner with no power cord for 30 bucks. I also finally got all of these listed. I went through the parts list and gathered, counted out the parts, make sure all the right parts are there for a couple of smaller sets, and they took way too long. So I ended up paying someone 100 bucks to do it for me for all of the remaining ones. Now, 100 is a lot to spend on something like that. The way I see it, I paid $100 and freed up an entire day for me, and I got a lot more productivity for 100 bucks that day to pay someone to do that instead of doing it myself. So those are all listed. So a couple of them are complete. Most of them are missing a few pieces. But on the eBay listings, I break down each piece that's missing on each one, including the model number of that piece. What I plan on doing, they're listed. If they sell now, great. If not, I plan on buying the necessary pieces on Bricklink and actually sending those to Amazon, where I can get a lot more money for them. In fact, the complete sets, I think that's what I already did with them. But here, each one has something like this that has exactly what's missing. So that is today's sales. So do you remember a few months ago I mentioned a friend of mine had a Wing Zone franchise up for sale for like $70,000? Well, it is now closed. He couldn't find a buyer. He lowered the price a few times since then. It got to the point we were like 4 days from when he was officially closing. He offered to sell it to me for $12,000, the total value of basically the assets. And I was gonna do it. I reached out to someone that I knew who was in food service, owned a franchise of another business, and we were gonna partner up on it and everything. Timing didn't quite work out right. He would have needed to stay open for at least another month because I would need to go to Atlanta and do the training with the franchise and all that jazz. Didn't quite work out. But it ended up going for auction, and I spent like $500, and I'm going to pick the stuff up. I should turn that $500 into about $1,000, but also I bought a bunch of food. So $500 to $1,000 plus a bunch of free food. So let's go get that stuff. So I had to rush it because I've got a bunch of frozen food in the black car on a hot day. So I'll show you what I got when I get to the warehouse. I may need to get a chest freezer, meaning I may need to haul some of it or throw it in the fridge or something. I should be able to fit it both the freezer and the fridge, but it's all got to be frozen, so some of it's going to have to go in a chest freezer. So let me show you what I got. Here I got a phone system. This massive beast is the base unit for the phones, as well as this phone. Neither of these are worth anything. These two seem to be selling on eBay. I'm going to try them, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I got it for like $2. Total gamble. These I'm probably just going to send to be recycled and then try to sell those. Next, I got 5 of these receipt printers. Should give me about $100 each, give or take. They all should be working. So I got 5 of those, each with power cord and everything. This is kind of neat. This is a a little MP3 player. You put your music or your audio on right there. So when somebody is on hold, they hear music or a recording. You know, when you call a place, they put you on hold, you hear them, a recording of them trying to sell you stuff. This, I think, is worth like 50 bucks, something like that. I don't remember. I got this. Now all this stuff, by the way, smells like chicken. That's all I can smell right now. 3 of these. The picture only showed 2. I thought I was only getting 2. Cost me like 55 bucks. They're selling for about 250 used on eBay. They're timers. So, I mean, right there, 750 bucks for those 3. I got this older Wing Zone car topper. It goes on a window, actually. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. I also got their paper towel dispensers. I'm going to put one in the bathroom here at the warehouse because the ones that we use, they recently discontinued it. So I can't get any more toweling for it. So it's one of those fancy Envision or InMotion ones where you wave your hand and it comes out. They're worth about 100 bucks or so. I paid very little for it. I also got this. This is my most exciting part. Another car topper. I guess I've got a little impromptu collection here. I had no plans on it. The Papa John's one has been up there on the ceiling for quite a while. Now I've got a Wing Zone one to go next to it. Okay, I lied. What I show you next is the most exciting part. Let's walk into the break room. So, for starters, let's pop this open. I got 2 giant bags of Mexican cheese. These things are huge. 5 pounds each. So 10 pounds of Mexican cheese. This looks so good. I paid up for this. I thought I was overpaying. I talked to the owner. He said I basically paid what it cost to get it. Garlic Parmesan sauce. 13 bags of it. Moving on to the freezer, I had to take this shelf off just so I could get this thing closed. So first, we've got some chicken breast fillets. A full case of it along with this bag here. These will make good chicken sandwiches. I got this bag of popcorn, basically boneless wings. It says popcorn chicken, but it's basically boneless wings. And then here's the exciting part. See that Oreo? Let me pull this out. I can't pull it out, hold on. See that? These are Oreo churros. There's 100 of them in this box. This is, let's see, 19 pounds? I think that's right. 19 pounds of Oreo churros. 100 total. These, we're getting the deep fryer out. We're going to make these. We're going to have like a little company picnic type event where we just feast. We've got one more thing. Now, I don't know if you remember, 5-6 years ago, Google did one of their April Fool's Day jokes where they said they invented this new thing called Google Knows, where you can smell things through the internet. That would be very unpleasant on adult websites. But anyways, you can smell things on the internet. It's called Google Knows. Want to know what it smells like? Google Knows. Well, I really wish this was a real thing because I want to show you this. This is the Voodoo Dry Rub, and that's the ranch. These smell, like even through the bags, I can smell it. I could eat this with a spoon. They smell so good. I am going to get these jarred up so they don't, go bad. But these I'm excited for. So all in, I expect to do a little more than double my money, bring in about $1,000 and have all that food and the car topper at no cost to me. I'd say it was a pretty good deal. Oh, one more thing. I got an air curtain. I didn't pick it up. It's still at the store. The owner is going to actually take it down and bring it to me. He was nice enough to offer that. So it's those things is mounted above a door and blasts air down to keep flies out. I feel like it would come in handy around here. So he's going to disconnect it and bring it over here for me next week sometime. There was also another receipt printer there with a note on it that says just stops printing. So there's no lot number in it, and I didn't see it in the auction, so I'm thinking it was just missed by the auction company. He said I could have it if it doesn't get picked up, if it actually wasn't in the auction. Pretty sure it wasn't, so I might be getting that too. At the very least, it's a good power cord. I could use that or sell the printer for parts, who knows. So it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going to do a time lapse here of me taking pictures of stuff for eBay. I've got a cart full of items here. Some of this you just saw from Wing Zone, some of it's from Shopko, some of it's from Office Depot, whole bunch of stuff here. I would estimate I've probably got 30 or 40 listings, maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out. So a couple things worth note. Number one, I just watched that time lapse. Yeah, it missed a lot. It went so fast. You saw there was one point where I pulled the box onto the table and grabbed, it's buried in there, those orange bottles. It looks like I just put one in. I put like 15 of them in there. Last time I do the time lapse feature on my phone. Next time I'm gonna record it in real time and speed it up in my editing software. But anyways, so that took me like 10 minutes. I don't even know if it took that long, about 10 minutes to take all those photos. Couple things I noticed. So one of these is defective. It does not power on. It is right here. So I'm gonna sell it as is for parts or repair. These two they seem to be working. I did put notes on them. That's going in the title, just so I know which is which, since they will be two separate listings of an identical item. Makes it a little easier that way. The other two worked, a little greasy, but they work. The cords were nasty. I threw away the cords and grabbed some new ones because they were covered in grease and oil. What else? I did test this out before I took the pictures. This thing here ended up being open. I don't know why I put it in the box, but that's gonna get tossed. These, where are they? Somewhere around here. These, you saw me take a picture of them individually, then a picture of 2, and then a picture of 4, because I don't remember how I was going to list these, if they were individual 2 or 4, so I just did all of the pictures. It added like an extra 10 seconds, and it takes longer to look it up, and I'm going to be researching it later when I go to list it. This is factory sealed inside. It's just a ribbon for a label printer, and I think that pretty much covers everything. So I'm going to go get this stuff listed. I find it much quicker to take the pictures all at once and then sit in my cushy chair and list afterwards. So I am doing an Amazon shipment right now, and I get a phone call from my contractor. He says he's got a lead on a property for me. He's got the keys in hand. He said, come look at it right now. So I called the guy that I'm partnering with on it. We're heading over there right now. It's a bar that's closed. It's not a running business. It's just the building. Apparently, he didn't give me many details. I trust his judgment. He said, come look. If he thinks it's worth looking at, it's worth looking at. But it's got a liquor license that's good for another 2 weeks. So it would basically need to be transferred, renewed, what have you, in 2 weeks, or it expires. I don't know anything about liquor licenses. I don't know if that's something that I can lease out, if I can get the license and sell it with the building. There are a lot of questions, but we're gonna go look at the property and see what it looks like right now.
You have, display coolers that turn on the up-head fan for you. You got a lava rock grill. Boxes, flat screens, pool tables. Pretty much included. I'm sorry. I'll show you everything though. It needs a complete remodel.
Yeah, I'd say.
But it's a lot of space.
What's the expiration date on
I think
here?
this is 1970. I looked at it before. 1979. There's the record player. That's fucking nuts. Restore that, that'd be worth some money.
All right, so we're in the living room now, I'm assuming.
That's where we came in.
Oh, okay, so this is bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
Then living room. Would this have been the bathroom? No, it's a closet.
kicks in. I think bathroom's over here. This is the old bathroom. Definitely feels like a murder scene.
Yeah, I'd say.
Look at that. Dinky. Imagine showering off of that, bro. It's all sealed off.
Oh, alright. Didn't you say this was a 2-bedroom?
Yeah.
Or would this be the 2nd bedroom?
It just depends on how you look at it, yeah.
Okay. So you
But,
get...
I mean, you're at, to get it up and running up here, you're at 30, 40, maybe even 50,000.
Seems pretty dry. It doesn't seem like there's any water
Not
coming in or
leaking.
anything.
We redid the roof, so all that was taken care of.
So there's a 2-bedroom apartment on the 2nd floor. That's what those last clips were. It's been sealed off for 25 years. They closed off, boarded up the windows and the doors, and put siding over it, so you can't even tell it's there. It doesn't look like someone's even lived there since probably the 60s. You know, we found some of the records from the bar in the 70s, but no one's been up there for 25 years until we did. To get up there, you had to climb through a little hole in the ceiling that they had a board covering. You climb up through that, you crawl across some of the rafters, you climb up onto a soffit, and then up onto the ceiling or the floor of that apartment. It's gonna need at least $50,000 to make that thing livable. If I bought this property, we'd probably wait a little while, you know, a couple years at least to do it. But this area, it's an up-and-coming area, a little sketchy now, but things are picking up. There's a big development coming in right across, or right next down the road a little bit. I think it has potential to go up in value from that development substantially, and I think it would be a good thing to lease out. Buy it. They want $215,000, so maybe put an offer of $190,000, $200,000. It's ready to go. All of the equipment in there goes with it. The arcade games, the deep fryers, the grill, the coolers, everything goes with it. So I think it could be a good, and nothing needs to be done. I would like to seal the deck. There's an outdoor deck. That's another thing. There's an outdoor patio. It's closed off. You can drink out there. There's a bar out there. None of the other bars on that corner have one of those. Smokers drink a lot or smoke a lot when they drink, and they want to go outside. Well, they have to go outside to smoke. They want to be able to drink while they smoke. So you're going to have a lot more people there just for that. I think it's a great location. So have to do a little more due diligence on the property, but it's something I might pull the trigger on. Now, if you want to see, I took like an 8-minute video walking through the 2nd floor. And the main reason is because my business partner did not want to climb up there, so I could show him. But I will upload in a separate video the whole raw video. A little bit of language I'm going to edit out by the contractor, but I'm going to upload the whole thing. It's going to make you dizzy because I'm moving the camera around a lot. I wasn't planning on posting the whole thing, but I'm sure people are going to want to see it. So I'll upload that probably the same day as this video gets uploaded, so look out for that. Very interesting. So anyways, let's ship some eBay orders. I had a really good day on eBay. I've got 18 orders to pull for a total of $876. First things first, I sold this time clock with the keys and the power cord, $80. Let's see if I can get this out. It's a little heavy. I got $80 for this. This came in a box full of, you saw this in the last video, random electronics and tech that I paid $160, and I've already made my money back. Next, I sold this cord for an Apple Airport Extreme. I think that's their modem. I got $12.99 for it. This one, I'm taking a massive loss on it. I sold this for $15. It's a hiking GPS. I paid $20. Now this would be worth like $80, but it doesn't work. It's got battery corrosion and it won't power on. So I basically cutting my losses, $15, try to get something back out of it. For $50, this is gonna be fun to get down with one hand. This is, let me get it on the table. This is for endorsing checks. I got this in the box for $160. It came with, and I'm not including this, I'm going to cut some of this off. It came with this plate here, which basically signs the checks on the back, more or less. That way a business can easily run checks through and they don't need to hand sign every single one they accept. I got $50 for it. Over here, I sold this pair of shoes for $11.99. They've been sitting forever. Someone put in an offer and I accepted it just to get rid of them. They should go first class, so I'll probably walk away with about $5 profit on them. Sold this remote for $10, $9.99. Also came with all that box full of electronics. I sold this, whoops, stubbed my toe. I sold this Lego set. It's missing 5 pieces. I got $91.24, including shipping. That's, I think, $80 plus shipping. I sold this barcode scanner, $15. No cord. It came in, again, that box of electronics. You can see why I say I've already made my money back on it. This stuff is flying out the door, and I sent in like $2,000 after fees, if I remember right, of this stuff already. So I sold this Bose remote for $40. There's an interesting story on this remote. I bought this remote 3 years ago. It came on a truckload of merchandise. I think out of Target maybe or something. I don't know. It was brand new actually. A buddy of mine needed a Bose remote, so I gave it to him to see if it would work with his system. It didn't. And both of us forgot about it until a couple weeks ago when he was moving and found it and finally gave it back to me. So I listed it in used condition, although it's never been used. It's just no longer in the packaging. $40. So that was a quick sale. Sold another Lego set, this Pirates set, for $50. And it's only missing a couple of pieces. It's missing the alligator. And I think there are a couple of insignificant pieces it's missing. It's missing 7 pieces. Mind you, the alligator is 3 pieces on its own, so. Next, I sold a phone. We're looking for Y3. Right here. I got $180 for this. It's 2 handsets, 2 bases, and the main receiver unit. This was one of the phones in Gymboree. When I bought out all those Gymboree and Crazy 8 stores, I got the phones for between $15 and $35 per store, so per set. This is the second one I've sold for $179.99. This is a cool one. This camera here, I don't know why that hanger's sitting there. I sold this for $100 plus shipping, so $126 and some change. Here's why it's cool. This is like a professional camera that a news outlet or someone would use. The Brown County Veterans Memorial Arena in Green Bay. That's where this camera was used. It was used to film like hockey games and stuff like that. When they updated their system, I got a few of these. I don't remember what I paid. It's been a while. But what's cool about it is the arena that this was used in was literally demolished a day before it was sold. Yesterday, maybe the day before. The whole thing they collapsed it. Knocked the whole thing down as they're demolishing it to build a new one. That has nothing to do with why it sold because it's not mentioned on the listing or anything like that, but it's kind of cool that it times out that way. So anyways, $100 plus shipping for this monstrosity. Here's one where I hate myself. So you remember these phones? I've got 4 of them. I was selling packs of 3 for about $150 to $200. I've got a few listed that have been sitting for quite a while. They have not been listed. They've not sold. I shouldn't say they haven't been listed. They've been listed. They have not sold. So I figured maybe the price has dropped. I don't know what they're going for. So I listed 2 lots of 4, starting at 99 cents each. They sold for 99 cents each. Now with shipping, I got $22.78. It's not going to cost that to ship these. Ultimately, I'll probably walk away with $10 or so. 9, 8, $10. Not ideal. Not too happy with that because that should be about $300. But you win some, you lose some. Sometimes auctions on eBay don't work out so well. Next, I sold a pair of, right on top, size 8. I got $10 for these. They go first class. Costs about $3.50, $4 to ship these. These cost me 50 cents. I bought 11,000 pieces of clothing and shoes from Target for 50 cents each. Cost me about $6 grand with shipping. And this is part of it. So I will walk away with about $5 after shipping and fees. Next, I sold a pair of jeans. 16, I need size 14. There we go. I got $19.99 for these jeans. These came out of one of the Shopko stores that I bought out after they closed. So I paid 2% of that. So 44, that's 88 cents, I think. Sold them for 20 bucks, $19.99. Next, we've got this box. I've got $12.50, I think, or was it $12.99 for all these remotes? I'm not gonna get much for them because they're gonna probably cost about 8 to 10 bucks to ship. Honestly, I might walk away with $1 or $2 after shipping and fees. These are crappy remotes. They're all Dish Network remotes. I just threw them up cheap to get rid of them. They came in that box of electronics. I sold this, the other time clock. It does have the power cord. However, it's missing this little lens that covers that up and the keys. I listed it as 4 parts or repair. Keys aren't necessary because the part that's locked is gone anyway. And it's missing that, but it does work perfectly fine. It's just missing some important pieces. So someone can use it just like this. Sold it for 50 bucks. And lastly, here's something you guys should be looking out for. This box of candlesticks I sold for 80 bucks. Brass candlesticks do well when you have lots of them. Usually you can find these at garage sales for 50 cents each. They're cheap. I got 80 bucks for this. There are 18 of them in here. Correction, there are 20 of them in there. So for those of you wondering, the total to ship all that was $179.81. A big chunk of that is 3 items. There's a $30 shipping charge for the camcorder, $25 for something else. Oh, the brass candlesticks, and what was the other one? Oh, the big Lego set was $17. So that is today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.